All right, so today I'm going to be going over an 820-2936 logic board that goes into a 2011 13-inch MacBook Pro. We're going to go over what's wrong with it, what happened to it, and the very sad attempt at fixing it that was made by an $80 eBay person. So by the way, I'm not against people who make mistakes, because I make a lot of mistakes, and that's how I learn. What I do like is making fun of the combination of arrogance and ignorance when that results in a poor job, or when somebody is really, really devaluing what we do, and then while devaluing it, they fuck something up, because it's like, exactly, like this is why this is $80. Like, I get a lot of people who come and asking this because they'll see this, and this is probably why, because they see that motherboard repair on eBay costs $80. And I'm not talking about connector replacement. I'm not talking about backlight issue. I'm talking about honest to God, full service MacBook logic board repair for $80 and free shipping. And, you know, this kind of reminds me of a Honeymooners quote, because this thing wound up here. I Googled the address and the name and everything because it seemed familiar, to figure out that this was somebody who's offering the service on eBay for $80. It reminds me of this Honeymooners quote. I'm not sure if any of you guys watched the Honeymooners. It was after, I think he got fired from the bus company or something. And he's complaining to his wife, and he goes, aggravation, 101 aggravations every day. Driving a bus in the summertime, dying from the heat, in the wintertime, freezing from the cold, all kinds of weather, through the rain, the snow, and the sleet. You know that sign they have in the post office? The mail gets through no matter what kind of weather. You know why? Because the mailman rides with me. That's why. And that's kind of what I feel like saying to a lot of these people when they're like, why, you know how this $80 motherboard repair person gets by when he can't figure it out or he fucks up your board? He sends it here, and I'm going to charge him full retail rate because he is not a wholesale customer. I digress. Let's go over what's actually wrong with this thing, and let's go over what went on to fix it. So here's the thing. Again, I make a lot of these mistakes, but at the end of the day, you'll see, because I uploaded a few keyboard videos like this. At the end of the day, I catch it. This is just a sad sack over here. So let's go over. So again, it wasn't seeing the keyboard. So you got the keyboard connector that got semi-replaced. I say semi because, oh, look at this. So the keyboard connector got replaced, but there's no keyboard. That resistor got kind of knocked off. No keyboard. We replaced U5701, which is the keyboard controller chip, and oh my God, there's still no keyboard. What are we going to do? Well, the first thing that you should be doing here is using your brain. What type of device is the keyboard? On this machine, if you read the schematic, you realize that the keyboard is a USB device. Now, the keyboard is going to communicate with this chip, and this chip pretty much turns it into a USB signal that can be accepted by a USB controller hub. So let's go over the block diagram in the schematic. Now over here it's telling me how everything goes, right? So this should give me a couple of hints. So where's keyboard? I don't give a fuck about Windows 10. Go away. Alright, so trackpad keyboard goes through this connector, J5800 and J5713. That goes to U5701. U5701 goes to the USB hub 2 that's on page 24, which is U2650, and that then goes to the PCH, which takes all the information from the USB devices and pretty much manages it. Let's check this out. Let's check out U2650. Here we go. We're on a USB page. USB hubs. So you have two USB hubs. You have U2600 and U2650. So this hub down here, U2650, is responsible for, let's see, Bluetooth, trackpad keyboard, external A, and SD card slot. U2600 is responsible for the other externals. So this computer has multiple USB ports on it. So let's see what these go to. So USB underscore EXTB underscore N. So this, the top chip, goes to a J4610, which is a USB port. So let's write this down because, as I like to say all the time, I have a very, very bad memory. So J4610 first USB hub. Now, the USB hub responsible for the trackpad and the keyboard goes to USB external A and P. Let's see where that goes to. That goes to this, which then goes to J4600. Just in case you missed that. That's where USB XA goes to. It goes to this chip, and that chip goes to this USB port, J4600. So let's write that down. J4600, USB hub that keyboard is controlled from. So now we're going to go over to the board view. Delete this. J4600, J4610. All right, so these are the two USB ports. And again, I wrote this down because I got a really bad memory when it comes to these short-term remembering of numbers. So J4600 is the USB port that is attached to the USB hub that may be good, and J4610 is connected. J4600. See, I'm bad with this. J4610 is the first USB hub. J4600 is connected to the USB hub that the keyboard and the trackpad goes to. So what you could do to try to figure this issue out, before you even open the screws in the bottom of the computer, you can have this motherboard diagnosed as whether it's a keyboard issue or a keyboard controller chip issue or a USB hub or PCH issue. So I'm going to take this board, I'm going to put the memory and the fan in it. Might as well screw one or two of the heatsink screws in. I want to burn it. Now I'm going to unplug the internal drive. What sucks about this old pile of shit is that it doesn't have USB 3, it only has USB 2. Which is totally going to defeat the purpose of the fact that I keep a crucial SSD here with an operating system with tools on it, just so that when I want to test things, it loads fast. It's going to load like shit because of USB 2. So again, I'm not even going to plug any keyboard or trackpad or any of that shit in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the screen in, battery, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it into the regular USB port. So the regular USB port, again, let me just check my thing. Okay, J4610. So according to my board view, J4610 is this USB port here. Now I've unplugged the hard drive. So it's not going to try to boot off of the internal hard drive. The fan is spinning, it's turning on. Now what I want to see over here, what I'm looking for, is to see if that USB hub is working. So what I'm doing here is I'm narrowing down whether it's a USB hub issue or a PCH issue. So while I'm waiting for this slow piece of crap to boot over USB 2, let me show you what I'm talking about on the schematic. So the trackpad and the keyboard controller talks to the trackpad and the keyboard over here. This talks to the USB hub, and the USB hub talks to the PCH. Erase this. So the trackpad and the keyboard talk to this keyboard controller chip that I showed you that the guy replaced. That talks to this USB hub, and then this talks to the PCH. If neither of my USB ports work, most likely I have a PCH issue. This is the chip that talks to the CPU but controls things like SATA, PCI Express, computer turning on, because all the USB hubs talk to the PCH, right? If one USB port works, like this one, but then this USB port doesn't work, then I have a USB hub issue. If none of the USB ports work, I could have two USB hub issues, which is unlikely, or a PCH issue, which is more likely. If all the USB hubs work, but I have no trackpad or keyboard, then it's most likely something to do with the trackpad keyboard circuit. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's see how my machine has booted with the first USB port. As you can see, it's booting slow as fuck because, again, we're booting over USB 2. And also, since I didn't plug in the trackpad and the keyboard, it's clocking itself down. But clearly that USB hub works. It sees that there's a drive there and it's trying to boot off of it, which means that, you know, it's not totally destroyed. Again, without the trackpad plugged in, it's going to run slow. And it's booting over USB 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the other USB hub. So I actually forgot which one I started with. Thank God I wrote it down. So I tried J4610, which is over here. Now I'm going to try J4600, which is the USB hub that the keyboard is controlled by, which is J4600. That's the USB hub that is next to the SD card slot. Let me just plug the battery in. And I'm going to plug my charger in to turn the computer on. And I'm going to wait. Let's see what happens. Is it going to try to boot into the operating system? Or is it going to be screwed up? So on my crappy little $2 eBay junky USB to SATA thing, I have a red light, so at the very least it is providing power. Now let's see if data is working at that USB hub. Not booting yet. I should really just put this down so that you can watch along with me. Well, what do you know? One of our USB hubs ain't working right. So now let's take a look and see what's going on. Again, this problem did not require soldering to diagnose. It did not require replacing a chip. It did not require replacing a connector. This is the problem with monkey see, monkey do thinking, or should I say a lack of thinking and monkey see, monkey do behavior. Keyboard not working. Me replace connector. Me replace connector and still no work. Me replace keyboard controller chip. Why are you not thinking to come up with a solution for why this doesn't work? Oh, because you do this for $80. And exactly, like again, that is what you fucking get when you send this thing off to somebody who's going to do it for $80. You think you're getting somebody to think for $80? No. All right, so let's go over the schematic again and go to that area. So this USB hub is U2650. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. I want to see where it is. Okay, USB hub is over here. So this here is U2650. Hi, corrosion. Hello, corrosion. Hello, actual cause of problem. Again, this diagnosis did not require opening the computer. Yes, the computer is open because it was sent in for a motherboard repair, but this was clearly, obviously diagnosable without actually taking screws out of the laptop. Okay, here, donor board. You're a nice looking donor board. Actually, no, you're not. You're the one that has a 0 ohm short to ground on everything. But your USB hub actually looks very nice, so I'll steal you. My HAKKO on flamethrower mode. I got it on this 7.5, and air is at 16. Air filter on. No fucked up breathing here. So for all you people asking what temperature my HAKKO's on, it's on 7.5, and my air is at 16. You want to know what that is in Fahrenheit or Celsius? I have no idea. Just live with not knowing. It's hot enough. That's what I care about. Goodbye. eBay is just such a fucking cesspool. Like it's all price. It's nobody gives a fuck about quality. Like just almost everything that's sold on eBay is complete garbage. It's not a quality-based marketplace. You may think that's too much solder. My point is not to have a lot of solder on the pads. The idea is to pick up the old lead-free solder and sell it at GTFO. Too much solder on the center pad. Oh, roar. Oh, that was awful. But what I did right there was very $80 e-person on eBay of me. Okay, let's catch that little solder ball that ran away. Yoink. Let's get rid of that mess. What a mess. Whoa, bigger mess. My trademark never soldered on straight chip. Alrighty. What do you think I'm gonna get? Working USB, working keyboard, working mouse, or junk? Let's see. You know, let's inspire some confidence here that I got it right. I'm going to turn off the HAKKO and the air filter because the hot air station takes about a minute before it gets hot. I'm confident that I'd rather just save the energy. I know I fixed this. I don't need... Actually, I don't because this is not my keyboard connector or keyboard controller chip. Oh, there's flux everywhere. Motherfucker. Gross. Disgusting. I hate flux everywhere. Good thing the bathroom is next to my office. Nasty shit. Ugh. Puke. Yeah, I hate getting owned by Flux. I still don't want to be touching this. Not only is it filled with Flux, it's just one of those computers that's just generally dirty all around. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, disgusting. It's even it's one of those things where you can almost smell like the unshowered for 6-year person that owns it. And you guys who do you guys who don't do this for a living can say that like I'm just being an asshole, but you people who do this for a living, you know what I'm talking about when I say that the device smells like the end user in a really bad way. You know what I'm talking about. All right. All right. Now remember, before, not only did the keyboard not work, but that USB port didn't work. Now I know the keyboard works because I held down Option, and it brings me to the screen where I get to select the boot device. So if I hold down Option, it brings me to that screen that allows me to select the boot device. And if I hit Enter, it's able to see that boot device, which is a USB boot device, and boot off of it, which means that it's done. It does have to get cleaned up because the board, again, this whole machine is a little $80 on eBay-ish for me. Oh, thank God I have a lot of soap in here. But yeah, I gotta get gloves. I know I have them here, and I like wearing them when I'm working on nasty crap. But for some reason, I didn't wear them. It's great when it's great to feel like I'm touching this nasty stuff and I don't care because I'm protected. That's the beauty of gloves, which I really should just remember where mine are because I know I have them and I really got to start wearing them with how nasty some of this crap is. But yeah, this is it. So before you had no keyboard, no trackpad. Now you have keyboard, trackpad, USB, and again, it's just a matter of using your brain. You know, if don't replace things, don't guess. Come up with a plan and try to come up with ways to narrow down what the problem is, and just think every step of the way. Ask questions. Ask lots of questions. Ask stupid questions because sometimes stupid questions will lead you to a smart answer. But if you don't ask any questions and you just start just going, okay, ding, 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 and just replacing shit without thinking, you'll just be fucked. So you need to think before you replace something. If you don't think before you replace something, I can almost guarantee you that you will regularly get owned. Now, time to send a bill for $225 to somebody that I know is only making $80 off of this. That's going to feel good.